Hi everyone, today I'm very excited to have a very special guest with me. I'm here today with Adrian Evans, who is the director of the Thames Festival Trust. Hello Adrian.
Hi.
Thank you for coming here to my studio. Now one thing about this studio that many of you might not know is it's in a building which used to be a very old hospital, and guess what? As we were arriving here, Adrian announced that he might have actually been born here.
I think I was born here because, and isn't that the most extraordinary thing? Because we're here surrounded by so many stories, and I think that almost when you enter into your studio, you've got to have some sort of unique little story to unfold, and there was mine. But yes, I think I was born here.
So Adrian, who is the director of the Thames Festival Trust, also organises the Totally Thames Festival with his amazing team, and this is taking place in September this year. So Adrian, can you tell us a little bit about the
What Totally
festival?
Thames is?
Yes.
Well, it's anything to do with the River Thames, you know, river races and regattas and that kind of thing. Obviously mudlarks and everything that you guys do, but also art and creativity, and we just love the river. So this is a month where we can put all that love into one place and encourage people to enjoy, encourage people to come and discover stuff about this amazing river of ours. So we're here in this amazing treasure trove of objects, and extraordinarily, all of them have been drawn from the River Thames. You found this treasure trove, and what I find is just so brilliant about you is that you're not just satisfied with finding these extraordinary things, but you want to find out their backstory, who owned them, what was going on, and you found a pewter mug which looks fantastic. Now, what is the story behind that?
Well, Adrian, I love finding things that have a story behind them, particularly if I can link them to a person or a place from the past. And this is a brilliant example. It's a pewter tavern mug. When I first spotted it, I could just see some lettering showing through a thin film of mud. And when I extracted it, I was able to read the name James Burrows. And then Rose and Crown underneath, and Lower Thames Street. So I had everything I needed to find out a little bit more about who James Burrows was. And it turns out he was the landlord of the Rose and Crown from 1830 to about 1850. And then further research on the newspaper archives revealed that he was at the inquest of the death of somebody who drank at his tavern. A very sad story, a man who was called William Sweet, who was rejected by his lover, and who he then decided life wasn't worth living, and he drowned himself in front of Customs House. So I actually took the mug down in front of Customs House, because at that time we were still allowed to go down there, with a beer, and poured the beer in the mug, and I was with a friend and we toasted poor William Sweet and James Burrows.
There's so much amazing stuff here, but there's something that's caught my eye, and that's Nulla Vita Sine Aqua, which actually could be our logo. It means no life without water. Now, what is the story about that?
Okay, so this is one of the larger objects which I found washed up on the banks of the Thames. I remember it well. It was a night lark. It was very exciting seeing it lying there on the mud. And it turns out that it fell off of a boat that belonged to the Worshipful Company of Water Conservators. I actually contacted them to find out if they would like it back. And initially, I think they were perhaps going to take it back, but then they called me and said, you know what, you can keep it. So it's proudly up there on my wall now. And like you said, it's a brilliant motto. And I was thinking of sort of making it into a motto almost for something to do with mudlarking, like there's no life without mud. I was trying to find the Latin name for mud.
But in these days of sustainability, that is just a fantastic message to send, isn't it? Because there is no life without water.
No, it's true.
Brilliant. So we're obviously surrounded by so many fragments, but it feels as though the Thames has helped here. It's almost like they're framing those narratives. Isn't that just amazing?
It is. I absolutely love finding pieces of pottery with almost like a story on them, and it makes you want to crawl in and see what's going on the rest of the shard. In fact, I think it's nicer to find a fragment sometimes than the actual entire piece. And look at this one, for example. Here there's some men in what looks like a garden, possibly in a boat, and you can look at it and your imagination can run wild. You think, what are they doing? Where are they going? What's going on in there?
Yeah.
And this one as well.
Fantastic.
I particularly like this one. It looks like a couple of people on a swing or something, and again, it's fun trying to work out what the piece in its entirety would have been about. Here's another favourite. It's a man with his donkey in the bottom of a bowl here. I used to call them Thames ceramic tales because I think each one tells a little story.
And the river seems to have contributed to it, doesn't it? Because they've provided the framing. So the narrative is there, and then this beautiful... It couldn't be better, actually, could it?
No, absolutely.
It's perfect, exactly as it is.
It is perfect. Broken things can be absolutely perfect, and all the edges are rounded. And, again, we have the history. Somebody once ate their breakfast out of this bowl, I expect.
I'm intrigued by messages in a bottle. What's happening here?
Well, here you can see some of my large collection of messages in bottles, which I found along the River Thames since I started mudlarking. And it fascinates me that people still send messages. They've been sending them since ancient Greek times. And I've now found over 130. So this is some of them. And I've also got a file here full of what I like to call river stories. Some of them I just take photos of because it's not always appropriate to remove them. Lots of people say goodbye to people in messages in bottles, and some of them are quite sad, so I leave them to carry on their journey. But some of them I do keep. Often it's children that write the letters and they wish everybody a happy day if you find this message, etc. And lots of people throw wishes into the river. And one of my favourites is a young lad who wrote a letter because it was a wish, he wanted to be a Dino Thunder Power Ranger, and I've got a copy of it here. All it said was, I wish I could be a Dino Thunder Power Ranger. The Red Ranger, not just any ranger, the Red Ranger from Jack Hodges. And so I often use social media to find out about my finds. And so I put it on Twitter and it was retweeted hundreds and hundreds of times, like a virtual message in a bottle. And amazingly, we found the family of Jack Hodges. And so I sent him a red Dino Thunder Power Ranger outfit.
Oh, he must have been delighted.
Well, I just thought it's so magical. You throw your wish into the River Thames, and then lo and behold, you get your wish.
His wish was granted.
It was, and then he sent back
a
photograph of himself in his
Look at that.
attire.
Isn't that just so brilliant? That is just so brilliant.
And there he is in his red Power Ranger outfit.
Nicola, thank you so much for sharing this amazing... It is an experience to be here, and it's been just such a privilege. Thanks ever so much.
Oh, it's been a huge pleasure, Adrian. And don't forget, please promise me to tell me if you were actually born here.
I promise. And listen, everyone, please come to Totally Thames through September. Come and enjoy.